Well, hello again. Welcome again to another episode of Down to Earth but Heavenly Minded podcast. And I'm your host, Rish, and we are looking at the textbook for life, the Bible. And we uh, have finished the book of Genesis, so today we're going to be starting the book of Exodus. In last session, I just talked to you about the different versions of the scriptures and also some of the translations. We talked about the original languages and so forth. So you can always go back and review these episodes if you'd like. Uh, and I'd like your opinion, so you can always leave comments as well. And with that said, though, let's just get up our scripture here. And like I said, we're in Exodus 1, and we're going to be looking at the increase of Israel in the land of Egypt. And this will spur on some other things that happen. We already looked at the death of Israel, and we looked at the death of Joseph and his request to take his bones out when they exodus out of Egypt, and that's why this book is called Exodus. And it's a continuation from the book of Genesis. And the first 5 books of the Bible are called the Pentateuch, and they make up what the Jewish people call the law or the Torah. So with that said, let's just read our scriptures. Now these are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt with Jacob or Israel, each with his household: Reuben, Simon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher. All the descendants of Jacob were 70 persons. Joseph was already in Egypt, and Joseph died, and all his brothers, and all that generation. But the people of Israel were fruitful and increased greatly, and multiplied and grew exceedingly strong, so that the land was filled with them. So what happens is Pharaoh oppresses the nation that's among him, the Israelites. Now there arose a new king over Egypt who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, Behold, the people of Israel are too many and too mighty for us. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply, and if war breaks out, they join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land. Therefore, they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with heavy burdens. They built Pharaoh's store cities, Pithom and Ramsey, but the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied, and the more they spread abroad. And the Egyptians were in dread of the people of Israel. So they ruthlessly made the people of Israel work as slaves and made their lives bitter with hard service and mortar and brick and with all kinds of work in the fields, and all their work were ruthlessly made them work as slaves. Now the king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, one of whom was named Shiprar and the other Pudah, when you serve as midwives to the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stool, if it is a son, you shall kill him, but if it is a daughter, she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but let the male child live. So the king of Egypt called the midwives and said to them, Why have you done this, and let the male child live? And the midwives said to to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are vigorous and give birth before the midwife comes to them. So God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and grew very strong. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families. And Pharaoh commanded all the people, every son that is born to the Hebrew you shall cast in the Nile, but you shall let every daughter live. Well, this is something that repeats itself later on in history. Pharaoh wants to kill all the male children. Well, we see a king. His name was Herod in the New Testament. He does the same thing. Remember, I said history repeats itself, and we will see that as we go on, that things don't change. The heart of man is the same. It's evil beyond measure, and who can know it? That's what the Bible tells us. And I believe it. Even my own heart. I'm a Christian, but there's still evil thoughts in my heart. And I have to work on not allowing them to take control of me. And every Christian has that same problem. That's one of our enemies, our flesh. So, well, anyway, with that said, I'm just going to end our recording today, and we'll see you on the next session. So, and we'll be continuing on in the book of Exodus. Goodbye for now.